All right, this is a battle that I've entitled Use the Waffle, but I also like to call it Little Fish, Big Win. So I recently bought back the VK3001. It was a medium. It's now a heavy. I don't necessarily like it as a heavy, but... and they also took away my cone gun and gave us the waffle. And while... the cone gun was great. The waffle, I was like, man, I just don't think it's going to cut the mustard. So I started using the 88. I think it's the 88 millimeter, and it's a 7.5. I think it's an 88, and I hated it. It kept bouncing shots, and I'm like, well, I'll try the waffle. And lo and behold, aside from a slightly slower rate of fire, it's very much like the cone gun. I'm actually not too upset with it. And this battle just goes to show that it can be a very useful gun. And not only that, but the VK is still a great tank. Are there better tanks out there? Sure. At Tier 6, you got the KV-1S. You've got the, man, I don't know about the M6, but definitely the KV-1S. You've got the ARL-44, which is one of my favorites. It's a great sniper tank, does a lot of damage. This tank, it seems like it would be kind of little. It still kind of plays like a medium, but you can see here with the Tier 8 tanks, I'm bouncing some shots, but yeah. But the rate of fire on the waffle is great, and it's a very accurate gun. And it does decent damage. It really has enough penetration that it's kind of a threat to even Tier 8 tanks. So even though they hurt the VK, they didn't kill it. And I'm glad to see that because, I am going to grind my way up to the Tiger. Now that they've kind of buffed the Tiger gun, I lost interest in it, but I'm kind of gaining interest again. And so I had to buy this back, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. But really, so far, I've really enjoyed playing it again. And, even though I do miss, being at Tier 5 and being a medium, this is still a great tank. And, it is able to compete where it's at. And definitely showing you here how useful it can be. So our medium was lighting everything up in the woods, and it died. And I'm like, well, I better take his place and try not to be stupid. I don't know why he was going up the hill there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay as safe as I can. Though it looked like he was safe, but for whatever reason he got picked off. So I think that's a T-28 over there. Let's take a look. Yeah, you got a prototype and a regular, both of which are going to be hard tanks for me to penetrate because they're, the armor's pretty thick on the front of the T-28, but I want to keep him exposed if I can, so I'm going to pop up here and see if I can't spot him. Oh, an SU-122, IS-3, he's aimed right at me. So I'm staying low, but trying to keep them lit. There we go. Artillery is coming up and over. No. Yeah, and of course this tank is not the greatest spotter on Earth either. But I'm really one of the smallest tanks left on the map, so I figured, well, maybe I better... Oh, he's looking right at me. Look at that. That's a big gun. 400 damage in a hit. I don't want to get blasted by that. Okay, time to move. Yeah, so once again, this just shows that the VK is still viable. It's not, and it's kind of ignored because it's little. This guy didn't know it was coming. Yep. And oops. KV2. Unlucky hit. He didn't do much damage. IS-3, I definitely don't want to get shot by him. Whoops. We got this guy backing out. But really, look where our heavies are upstairs cowering, you know. Like, why aren't these guys coming down off the hill? They're just up there. You know, maybe they're shooting off the edge, but it seems like they're not. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's like they're not doing anything. Which tank would I rather be in? Right now, I'd rather be in this one. But the KV-2 is a monster. He just killed our IS-3. That'll teach you to not angle. But look how our IS-3 was set, too. He, you know, a lot of guys, and I'm going to pause this for a minute. The IS-3 has angled armor on the front. You never want to angle your tank like this towards an opponent. He should have immediately turned, when he got into firing range, he should have turned the front of his tank directly at the KV-2. Now, the KV-2 does splash damage, so he might have still gotten killed, but I see a lot of IS-3 drivers doing that. You actually need to face straight forward at your opponent like this, and then you need to wiggle the tank back and forth. So, anyway, that'll help you bounce a lot more shots, but, you know, once again, the KV-2 fires a derp round, so it might have penetrated anyway, but the front of the armor with that angle would have been better than getting hit on the side, for sure, regardless of if it penetrated or not. Hopefully lesson learned. But yeah, if you run an IS-3, make sure you point directly at the enemy and then you wiggle. You let that angled armor be what keeps you safe. You don't angle that tank. So in this tank you angle, but in that one you don't. So yeah, I think that I'm the one that's spotting these. I'll take those, yeah. And some more damage for Arthur. Yep. Not a lot of kills, but I've done a lot of damage. So with the VK and the Tiger, you do want to angle. These are tanks that you do angle, but with the IS-3, don't angle it. Now we have our, what is that going on? KV-4. Probably can't penetrate him unless I can get him in the back or the back of the turret. This tank just doesn't. Wow, 1,100 damage in one shot. That must have been our artillery. All right, let's take a look at the finish. Okay, so I was the third highest score on the team in a Tier 8 battle with a Tier 6 tank. And I was, let's see, 1, 2. I was the third highest damager. I mean, that's just incredible. Now, 1,600 is not that much damage, but for a DPM gun, that's pretty good. Yeah, so this tank is still alive and kicking. Got my second class mastery badge, though I already have, I'm pretty sure I already have the M badge for this, but look at all the damage I did. Look at the list of tanks that I either moduled or damaged or hit. I mean, that's a huge list. And last but not least, we'll look at these. 26 shots fired, 22 direct hits, only 12 penetrations, but for 1,600 damage. And I survived. So don't despair about the VK. It's actually still a great tank, and my crew's not even 100% yet. So, I mean, that can only get better, though I will be transferring this crew to the Tiger once I get it. But now I'm a long way off since I spent all my money on a camo net. If you watch my Way of the Weekend Warrior video, you'll see where I actually made the mistake and purchased a camo net and a pair of binoculars when I had 600,000 credits. And I left myself with 14,000 credits. I was saving up for the Tiger. Start all over again. I'll probably have to buy premium this weekend so I can make some money. But anyway, that is the VK doing a good battle and definitely using the waffle. So you can really make a difference in this tank. Have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. V Blue Guitar signing out.